Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon and welcome to Spotlight with me, Ruth Medjber. Thank you for joining us here on Dublin City FM, or indeed catching up with us on Spotify or Apple Music or wherever you find your podcasts. This is your weekly guide to arts, culture and brand new Irish music. On this week's show, we are going to be having the chats with two people, Mikey and Colman, who have written and directed a stage play in Smock Alley Theatre called Best Man. Absolutely hilarious. We'll also be chatting to Molloy, who brings you Hibernacle, a beautiful little festival that's happening very soon. And we are going to have a couple of tunes played live here in the studio from Jackie Beverly. Now, if you're listening live on the wireless, you can drop me a text, give me your feedback, tell me what you're loving, tell me what you're not. 087 179 1032 is the number. Or feel free to slide into my DMs. Ruthless Imagery is where you will find me on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok, on all of the channels. Let's kick it off now, shall we, with a tune. Let's always just play a tune. I just like playing tunes here for you. I'm going to play this gorgeous song called Thorns and Bristles by Dunlovely. I hope I'm saying that right. Dunlovely, Dunluvly. Here's Thorns and Bristles.
Country soul and everything you know, until the devil walks around and attempts to break me. Wandering home like a lost foal, but I brandish a look that could scare a baby. I'll steer clear and the bristles that embedded deep in my own sights. 'Cause tonight they make me feel alive. And that saddle sits so high, and my motivation strays. There's so much to be shared. The light looks lonely when it fades. False hope. Guess that happens when you leave a tab locked and empty. I'll blame my character for the flow of when I left so high that I forgot to brace me. And that's on you, dear, perfect fit for all the holes that I tucked in my own soul, that I wish you got to know. And that saddle sits up high, and my motivation still strays. There's so much to be shared. The light looks lonely when it fades. soul and everything you know. Oh, I'll blame my character for the flow. Oh,
Now, folks, I'm going to do something that's probably not done a lot on radio, on Irish radio. It's probably for a reason, okay? But I don't care. There's a song I've been wanting to play now for a little while on this station, but I just haven't had the time because we have been packing the shows with live music. Last week we had 4 bands live in studio. That's unheard of in a 2-hour show, but we did it. We did it, and I'm proud of it. There's a song that I came across. It's called Ballydehob. And it's by 2 people called Coex and Matilda O'Mahony. Now, I don't know an awful lot about them. I don't know an awful lot about their collaboration, but I fell in love with the song. It's quite experimental. It takes you on a bit of a musical journey. There's a lot of stuff going on. And here's the thing. It's 8 minutes and 20 seconds long. I want to do it. I just want to do it. I want you to sink into this song. I want you to take 8 minutes to yourself today. Put this on, stick the headphones on, blast the car stereo, wherever you're listening, and just sink into this and let them take you on a musical journey. I'm going to say no more. You just have a little listen. This is Ballydehob. Let's pick things up a bit now, shall we? Here is a collaboration by Chosta and Jape. Am I saying that right? There's so many fodders in this week's playlist. There's fodders all over the place. I'm not good with the fodders. CHO fodder STA. Okay, I think I'm just going to spell everything from now on. And Jape, we all know Richie Jape, the absolute legend of a man. This is a song called That Object Spoke to Me.
I mean, are you someone who believes, rather like off Kurzler, the idea of coincidence, almost revealing a web of reality? Well, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, there's no such thing as coincidence.
from the moon, protected, profane gate, attracted to the cause, as lost as I am late. While flowers are the bed, your soft and silent head is dreaming of a cow. Eternal by the lake, we watch the painter paint, imagining release, happening with peace. The water from your skin drips towards the sand, showering the ants.
Here's a lovely wee tune I'm going to play for you now. It's called Bat Sanctuary. I'm going to play it to you now and you're going to go, that is not Irish. I play Irish music here on the radio. You know that. Like, everyone knows that. I know that. It's what we try and do, because we do have so much amazing music being played on the island of Ireland, and that it'd be an absolute crying shame not to play it. So here's a song. It's by Laurie Shaw. It's called Bat Sanctuary, and when I was reading his bio there, it does say that he was born in the Wirral, and sure, look, the Wirral is basically Ireland anyway, isn't it? He's in Cork City now, though. Here is a gorgeous little tune called Bat Sanctuary.
Got a giant lighted lucite map of the town. I have a red light over your house and an alarm that sounds when you ring my secret phone. If your cover has been blown, or you need to postpone, or you just don't want to be alone. was a habit I could break. But I mean, it wasn't like sitting in a bookies all night or an unhealthy sexual appetite. It was innocent at first. I found a secret passageway, a web of tunnels underground filled with bats and decay. I followed it to beneath the bat sanctuary. That's where I started to build my secret base. I got a grant for a short, but instead of a cast, I pumped all of the money into the booby traps. Lovers came by to do it in there. Oh, the cavernous sound, it reached down to my lair. So I rock-walled it all and installed a system that made the bats want to attack. So that took care of them. Souvenirs on a bulletin board, made an escape tube that went to where my boat was moored. Sometimes I'd patrol the water, wondering when I'd see you appear on that pierhead again. The signal sounded and I saw you on my surveillance in the dark of the wood. Pursued by assailants, I fought them off with an ancient martial art. But the reaction you gave me really caught me off guard. What the fuck did you do that for? They were friends of mine, we were just having a daft time. Oh, the way you looked at me, like I was a disgraced MP. Gotta get back to Sanctuary. Never leave, at least not willingly. In my mystery base, I have left you a key. I'll wait here for you. If you ever love me, I am listening beneath the bat sanctuary.
Thank you for sticking with us. I do hope you're enjoying the tunes. Now, still to come, we have another interview, of course, this time from Una Molloy of Hibernacle, and we still have our live session from Jackie Beverly. So stay tuned with us. Let's get poppy for a second, shall we? Now, here's a band that I saw only a couple of weeks ago down in Galway. I think they're Galway natives, right? They're called New Dad. They're amazing. They seem to be doing really well over in the UK. Here is a song called... Oh my God. How do I even do this now? I know it's like I Love You Too, right? But it's ILY2. I think it's I Love You Too. I'm showing my age here now. Anyway, I'm going to shut up. Here's New Dad.
Glass
I'm going to play you a tune now by the ever lovely Paul Noonan, who is, of course, the lead singer of Bell X1 and also Houseplants. This is a song he brought out way back pre-pandemic times in 2018. It's called Moth to Your Flame. And stick with us after this song because we're going to hear from Una Molloy about Hibernacle, where Paul will be playing.
Just how wild does it get in your wildest? Do more than make the rent in your wildest. Are they just playing crazy? Yeah, you're wildest. Like you're the back of a Panamine horse made of diamond. Show me the key to make a mark. I know that I got me these moves that make you laugh. Here I'm a flailing in the dark. I got me these moves, but I know it's not enough. Show me the key to make a mark. I'm searching your face for a sign of a heads up. But here I'm a flailing in the dark. I'm a moth to your flame. To your flame. I'm a moth to your flame. To your flame. I'm a moth to your flame. To your flame. I'm a moth to your flame. To your flame. Do I figure it all in your wildest? Maybe just a walk on part in your wildest. Am I too much part of that daily grind to make your wildest dream? What if I rode a motorbike or put up shelves on Dunga? Show me the key to make a mark. I know that I got me these moves that make you laugh. Here I'm a flailing in the dark. Got me these moves, but I know it's not enough. Show me the key to make a mark. I'm ready to go, come rain, come shine. Here I'm a flailing in the dark. I'm a moth to your flame. To your flame. I'm a moth to your flame. To your flame. I'm a moth to your flame. To your flame. I'm a moth to your flame. To your flame.
Una Molloy, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Ruth.
Yeah. So come here. You're going to tell us about Hibernacle, a fabulous. What would you call it? Because it's not quite a festival. It's like a collective. It's an experience. I was very lucky to be one of the people that got to document the very first Hibernacle, which was in lockdown times. And just for anyone listening that isn't aware of what it was, you brought a bunch of musicians, of artists down to Doolin during the time when we were all miserable and locked up and we hadn't seen each other in ages, and you gave them an opportunity to collaborate and create, and then live streamed the results of that. So tell us a little bit, like, where did you get the idea for that incredible adventure we went on?
Well, so I mean, I guess Hibernacle is the three of us, myself and Pierce Starkey and Peter Kelly, who are from three kind of different backgrounds in that I would be sort of in the, artist booking agency kind of side of things. Pierce is on the production end of things, and Peter does gigs in the middle. And so we kind of, and myself and Pierce have been dreaming about putting on something similar to what we put on in Doolin for a long time. I suppose it was going to be a sort of an evolution of that mixtape show that we do. We do a mixtape in Vicar Street every New Year's, and it's just like loads of artists coming together and playing. It's like 5 hours of chaos playing David Bowie and Talking Head songs and everything, and a big 11-piece band and backing singers and brass, and so we wanted to do a kind of a more musically serious version of that, and then it's kind of hard to do because it's just so many moving parts and people are on tour and busy, that in a way, when everybody was locked down and had nowhere to go, it was kind of a perfect opportunity to bring people together. And it was lovely. We had a week of creating spaces for people to go and write together, and they sort of were able to send music to each other remotely ahead of time, and just giving people space to work together in a way that they haven't before, and introduce new artists who didn't know each other. And it was originally supposed to be 3 days of gigs at the end of it, where we sort of had a mix of all the musicians playing together and have really kind of interesting kind of combinations of mixes of people coming together to play. But in the end, because it was like a sudden lockdown 5 before Christmas or something, it turned into streaming. So we suddenly found ourselves trying to TV producers, which we are not. So we had to stream the shows, but it was great. It just meant we got recordings of some of the amazing songs that had come from it, and so from that we just have started to put on more and more interesting things. We put on a big festival in Claregalway Castle, and then this is the next thing. So it's just a smaller. There's just these 2 beautiful festivals or venues. One is Orla House, which is sort of in the mountains in Rathfarnham, which is where I grew up. And it's like a converted monastery. It's a beautiful venue, and the owners there are really, really cool. And so we're just putting on these, like, it's only 100 people per gig. It's 3 weeks of shows. So each artist will play a night in Orla House and then a night in Claregalway Castle. And it's just an intimate, sort of weird, very special kind of autumny thing that we wanted to do. And we got a little bit of help from the Department of Culture in and around the nighttime economy grant. So we just jumped at the chance. So it's kind of, as usual, it's a bit of a labour of love, but it's going to be, I think it's going to be really special.
Yeah, I mean, like in the climate where you see, promoters and people going bigger. I mean, that seems to be people's next step when you're doing gigs. You start off small gigs and you go bigger and bigger and bigger. You are going smaller. Why is it important to kind of cap it at 100? 100 people is not a lot. It's smaller than your average wedding, like.
I know. I mean, I suppose it's not that we're going smaller. It's just that I think our hope is that over time we'll just do an awful lot of different types of events, of all shapes and sizes, and that's what we have done. Pierce has been involved in the Ed Sheeran tour. He was the head of production for the Ed Sheeran tour. It's the biggest tour in Ireland ever. But like the next thing was the Hibernacle in Doolin or Claregalway Castle. So I think, and even for me, with Turning Pirate, which is my agency, I've always been very conscious of bigger artists, particularly Irish artists, always coming back and doing the small rooms, doing the bars and doing the Roisin Dove, and I just think it's very important for artists like, say, I look after Lisa Hannigan, for her to be able to do the bigger shows, but like doing the Vicar Streets, which sell out no problem, but also going down to West Cork and playing. I just think it's a really important thing for Irish artists to do, and it's the same for us as promoters or producers, that we have to kind of do the big and the small. They're both as exciting as each other, I think.
And would it be fair to say that the artists need to do the small ones to kind of remind themselves of why they do what they do? That they can see the audience's faces, and they, it makes it an enjoyable experience and kind of grounds people. Because you mentioned Lisa Hannigan there, and I think she is the most grounded, down to earth, living soul in Ireland who's in the music industry. And maybe that's because she kind of sticks to coming back with you and doing the small gigs. So maybe it is, a mindfulness almost to kind of keep your graw for your passion for your your performance to come back and do the small things.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're really...
I suppose it's just that there's only so many big shows you can do as well. So, if you're going to do your 3 nights in Vicar Street, or, like we work a lot with Paul Newman as well, who's doing one of the Meet Me at Sunday shows. And like Alex One are doing 3 or 4 dates in Vicar Street at the end of the year, so it's like, but I think it's a totally different experience for the artist as well to go into a room with 100 people and play their Alex One songs on their own. It's like
it's a little bit terrifying though, I'd imagine.
Yeah, but also really special, I think, special for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I personally love an intimate show. It breaks my heart whenever I buy tickets to like a tiny venue, and then you get an email about 6 months later going, oh, due to demand, the venue has been upgraded and now they're in a huge venue. And I'm like, that's not what I paid for.
I know.
Your heart breaks a little bit. Obviously, everyone in the industry just needs to do what they need to do. But I'm like, no, I wanted to see them in a small space.
I know, I hear you.
So you mentioned there your New Year's Eve gigs, legendary New Year's Eve gigs. Are you going to come back and do them again now?
Oh God! Every year since I started doing them, I say never do that again. And then once it's finished, I'm like, maybe we could do this better the next time. But,
it's been a while though for lockdown, right? I mean, since you've had them.
Yeah, it's been a lot. We missed a year for various reasons before that as well. So we were supposed to have our 10th New Year's Eve mixtape in Vicar Street, I think in 2019, and it never happened for various reasons. So. Yeah, I don't know. Hibernacle has kind of taken over as a slightly more grown-up thing that we've started doing. I think we'll have to do the 10th one.
Split yourself in two. It sounds like you're a woman that needs to split yourself in two and do all the things that people want of you. So meet me at Sundown, which is a Hibernacle event. So it takes place in the 2 venues, like you said, Orla House and in Clare Galway Castle, the fabulous Clare Galway Castle. Isn't it just a divine space to be in?
It's beautiful. And I don't know if you've been to Orla, but it's similarly and really special. It's like it looks out all over. It's like the best view of Dublin City that I've ever seen.
I haven't been.
And just that time of night, I think it will be really special. I hope you can come along, right?
I'd love to. I'd absolutely love to.
They're both just really special venues, and they're it's a Monday, Tuesday. They're kind of grown-up gigs in that there's a free shuttle bus available so you can go to the 15 bus stop in Rathfarnham, get a bus out to there, and there'll be a shuttle bus that can pick you up and bring you back for the last bus.
You're selling this hard, isn't it? You're saying all the right things. If you tell me that there's a comfy chair at the end. If you tell me there's a comfy chair. I mean,
but I just find it's funny. I just find that after lockdown, I'm much more inclined to go out of town to a quiet place where there's seats and a nice glass of wine, and as opposed to into a nightclub. I'm just a bit more. Maybe I'm just getting old. But, it's a Monday and Tuesday night, so it's all very gentle and very grown up and very civilized.
But I'm sure it's all about active listening, though. We're going to pay attention to an artist in a spectacular surrounding. We don't care if we're in town and the buzz and all that kind of stuff. Town is manic these days. I'd much prefer to be on a nice comfy shuttle bus going out and getting a glass of wine now. So
exactly. And it'll all be focused around, as a Hibernacle generally is, just around it being really beautiful and really relaxed and really calm, and the home to bed like a grown up, and work the next day.
Brilliant. So October 10th, and then 17th and 24th are in Orla House, and then 11th, 18th and 25th in Clare Galway Castle. So you have the artists working 2 nights in a row. Is that it? They play one night and then they shoot on down to Clare Galway.
Yeah, and the first night is Paul Noonan. The Orla House one is sold out now for Paul Noonan, but it's Paul Noonan from Bellex One, and Danny Larkin is doing the support. He's an amazing artist from Belfast, I think, and then we have Mick Flannery and an American artist called E.W. Harris for the second round, and then there's a double headliner with Jenna Hayes and Kathy Davies for the third one. So it's a really special lineup. I think all 3 of them are going to be magic.
That's beautiful. Listen, you've done a hard sell here. I love it. Like, what's not to love? Everything you're saying here. Una, thank you so much for joining us today. Best of luck with the show. Yeah, good luck. I can't wait to see. And I'll see you on New Year's Eve when you put on your magic show again there. Thanks, Una. Thanks a million.
Thanks, Ruth. Cheers for that. Bye-bye.
Let's take a sweet little track now from Rachel May Hannon. This is Breathe.
Like a memory, your love was hard enough to keep. I used to see a future, now I'm unsure. I think he's scarred me, I don't know what for. With every inch you just took a mile. What can I say? I'm not surprised. Now you got me crying and I'm alone, but at least I can say I have grown. With every inch took a mile. What can I say? I'm not surprised. Breathe deep, 'cause when I look into your eyes, I know that there is a disguise. Breathe deep, since you left me I flow, and now I know, I'm better off alone. This past will lead is somewhere I will never need. I used to see a future, now I'm unsure. I think he scarred me, I don't know what for. With every inch you just took a mile. What can I say? I'm not surprised. Now you got me crying and I'm alone, but at least I can say I have grown. With every inch you just took a mile. What can I say? I'm not surprised. Breathe deep, 'cause when I look into your eyes, I know that there is a disguise. Breathe deep, since you left me I flow, and now I know, I'm better off alone. Breathe deep, 'cause when I look into your eyes, I know that there is a disguise. Breathe deep, since you left me I flow, now I know, I'm better off alone.
I'm going to play you some more Irish music. I'm going to play you some more female Irish music because there just seems to be so much of it out this week. I'm delighted to see this. I really am. I don't know if you've noticed this, if you've been listening to my show from the beginning. We play a lot of female Irish musicians on the show, and it's not, it's not something I'm going out and sourcing. It's just when you open your ears and you just listen to everything that comes across your desks, like, there is no need for a gender bias. There's no need for a gender imbalance. Like, there's so many great, young, fresh, talented artists, male, female, non-binary, that, like, you can't help but play women, and you can't help but play everybody. Like, just everybody is so good. I'm really, really excited about the level of talent that the new generation is bringing to the Irish music industry. I'm going to play a tune now by Lucy Robinson. This one's called Reverie, but, like, stick with us because I'm just going to play more and more Irish tunes. I just love this. I love it. I love getting a chance to play these songs here. Right, okay. I'm going to shut up. This is Lucy Robinson.
I'm glued stuck to my seat, just my luck. I wanna move my feet, and I can feel the how many faces meet in the April sun. I'm in reverie, really wanna be where I need to go. Sunsets get me done, so getting pretty sick of these white brick walls. I'm just spent doing what I'm told. Really wanna go where I need to be, rolling the grass with the birds and the bees. Time I've spent in fantasy, you know what I mean. On the road to hell, in the driver's seat, no seatbelt, the devil next to me. Gonna break this spell, cause I need to leave. I'ma pack my bag, I'm heading for a reverie. Really wanna be where I need to go. Sunsets get me done, so getting pretty sick of these white brick walls. I'm just spent doing what I'm told. Really wanna go where I need to be, rolling the grass with the birds and the bees. Time I've spent in fantasy, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Top down on the open road, get a one-way flight. No one tell me no, dance with the sunrise. Take a holiday, come and play, everybody get away, let's get away. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I wanna be where I need to go. Sunsets get me done, so getting pretty sick of these white brick walls. I'm just spent doing what I'm told. Really wanna go where I need to be, rolling the grass with the birds and the bees. Time I've spent in fantasy, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Now, joining me on the show, I'm very happy to welcome Mikey Fleming and Colman Hayes, who have written and produced a brand new show coming to Smock Alley Theatre called Best Man. You're very welcome, guys.
Thanks for having
Thanks
us.
very much for having us.
Now, this caught my attention when it came in a press release because it sounds absolutely gas. It's about being 30 flirty and having a breakdown at your best friend's wedding, which I'm not saying I know from personal experience, but I kind of know. So tell us then, how did it come about? Are you both single? Or were you at the time of writing?
Yes, yes. At the time of writing, yes. Half of us are single.
The bottom half. Go on, tell us. So Colman, you wrote it.
No, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
We wrote it
We
together.
wrote it together.
Sorry.
Yeah. I think I wrote something before and Coleman read it and kind of said if you had something else, and I pitched the bare bones of this idea, and it turns out we both have very similar dating histories, and it became like a very long therapy session that we turned into a script. And
Yeah, there was a few moments even writing it where we were like, why is he acting like this?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's the reason why. Yeah,
Oh
and
my
it was
God.
like almost like
Yeah, you're like,
diving deep into our own sort of trauma.
you're therapizing each other.
Yeah.
Like, oh, no,
Well,
but
the
you
charac-
are enough for people. It's okay.
yeah, it's definitely not directly based on us, but we've transplanted all of the worst aspects of our personalities onto this one human being.
Yeah, and it's a comedy. I feel like
Yeah.
how I said it. This is a comedy
This
play.
will be fun. This will be fun. So it's about being single at like your mate's wedding and kind of realizing that everyone in your social circle has kind of begun settling down.
Yeah, it's It's about a guy, he's giving his best man speech at the last single friend. So it's the last wedding after a series of weddings, and it's kind of he's just realised that he's being left behind, I guess, and that sort of is and he's also lost his speech, so he's just kind of waffling, so to speak, and it just sort of it's him basically have a breakdown over the course of the speech as he realises all of the decisions that have brought him to this moment. But it's a comedy again.
And it's funny, we swear. I know it does sound really interesting, and I'm sure a lot of people can just hard relate.
Yeah, I'd say there's going to be a great amount of people in their 30s that will relate to it. But I think anyone who's been to an Irish wedding has probably seen a version of this speech. Not this speech, obviously, because God bless, I hope it doesn't happen that often. But like I think I've been to about 12 or 13 weddings in the last 2 years, and so I've seen variations of like you know.
Like I'm really interested to kind of view this from a female perspective, because I feel like, or maybe I'm just target advertising. I read Dolly Alderton's book. It was the novel, which is very kind of like similar topics in a way, but she's not having a breakdown at a wedding, but she's realizing that like a lot of her friends have married, and it kind of comes to us all in our mid-30s where we kind of have that little panic and fear. I think in our parents' generation it was like, oh, the clock is clicking for kids, but now we've stricken that off completely. Now just the clock is ticking for like, are you going to be alone forever? Like, so I feel like her book and everything that she writes, and there's a lot addressing it for women, but I don't think there's anything really addressing it for men.
Yeah, someone said that to us. We didn't even think about that, because at one point we were like, because we wrote it for Seen and Heard, and when we were looking at that point, how do we develop it into something bigger? We're like, maybe we could do it from a female perspective. But someone who was working on it at the time said that the most interesting thing about it was that they hadn't seen this point of view before. They've seen so many variations of always the bridesmaid.
Exactly. I think because maybe it's just the way society sets us all up that, women, you should be panicked. You've got no time. we don't think about the lads who are just as single and lonely as the rest of them.
Yeah.
And here we are.
So we have a play.
Is it a clever ruse just to get to start dating?
For me. You've yet to work for Colman.
You found someone, so you're off the market now.
She's seen the play as well.
Yeah. Very, very early days.
Yeah.
I stupidly said when I started dating her that she could come, because it was kind of modesty, but not realizing how many friends and family were going to come. I said she could come to the second performance if we got a standing ovation on the first, thinking that would never happen, and we did, because we all had our parents and whatever at it, so of course I got a standing ovation.
Yay!
And she saw that. Someone shared it on social media. She's like, "Well, I'm coming to the second one now."
Oh wow! She saw that. She's obviously stuck waiting. I really want to see this
she saw
play.
it, like, this makes sense.
This makes sense. So you've found a lovely relationship now, and you're but am I right in assuming that you're still single then?
I'm still single. I'm dating. In fact, I was
You're gonna just say now why do your date while you're not on that date?
I am actually meeting someone for a coffee after this.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is this like a Tinder thing, a Bumble thing, a Hinge thing?
I guess I'm on all of them.
Yeah.
God, that sounds so desperate.
No, it doesn't. Like, that's the way you have to play the game, lads. Everyone's on all of them because it's a different type of person on all of them.
That is true. I was on a date actually about 6 weeks ago, and I thought it went well. And we're meant to go on a second date, but I knew we weren't when she texted me. My name is Colman.
Yeah.
She goes, "Hey, Colm." And I was like, I don't even need to read anymore. She's like, "Look, Colm, it's not going to work out, Colm."
No, Colm, no.
Like,
maybe that was
great for Colm. You know?
Maybe
you should text back. It's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry to hear about you and Colm."
Yeah, it's like she meant to text Colm, not you. You're still going out with this girl.
We went our second date. Yeah.
So we're going to wish you every luck for your afternoon date now after this radio session.
I did not tell him what radio, because I was like, I don't want him listening. I was so afraid.
Well, it's not live, so we're going to put this interview out in a few days' time. So maybe you can text me an update and tell me how your date went, and we can. By the time we air this interview, I would like an actual update. It'll be like first dates where you send in a photo of the two of you absolutely battered in coffers later on. Okay, so as ploys go to sort out your own singledom, I think it's really well done. And now you've got performances in the Smock Alley Theatre from the 25th to the 29th of October. You look like you have a question there, Colman.
No, it's the 25th.
It's okay. I got it. I got this.
That's terrible.
You just eyes on the prize. Just think about your date later. That's where are you going? I'm actually interested now.
I think we're just, because usually for a first date I just meet for a coffee and a stroll, because I'm like, the days of going for drinks, I'm like, I just feel like we're putting up the like
He's beaten down.
well, at least with a coffee and a stroll, you're like, we can look at stuff if things get awkward in the conversation.
Oh wow!
And it's also like, it's kind of,
And there's a time limit on a coffee and a stroll, right?
yeah. You're like, once the coffee's done,
And you're
like,
not
hey, we can
investing.
leave.
Yeah, you can so leave. You're not investing a whole evening to this person
Yeah,
either.
yeah.
Like if it goes wrong. Like I do know people that do half-hour dates. So they'll do like on the top of the hour, they'll meet one person and then like they'll have a like 45-minute date and then they'll meet another person after that. Yeah. So they'll fit like 3 or 4 dates in of an evening sitting in the same pub.
Because how do you remember? Because when I was dating, trying to remember because you chat to so many people and you remember, oh, you've 4 sisters.
Yeah.
Oh, you're from here, and then you meet that person. Like, wait, were you the one with?
I guess maybe they're taking notes on the slide.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
oh, yeah.
There's a friend of mine. He has a friend who works in, what's the name of those rooms where you have to unlock and
Escape room.
Oh, yeah.
He works in an escape room, and one guy kept bringing all his first dates into the escape room. But the people running the escape room were like, we recognize this guy.
He's been here a lot. But also it makes it look like he's like some mastermind
Yeah,
who he's in the
it's
room.
this
He's just
thing.
like, would it be code 1, 2, 3, 4 over there by the left? And did you see the thing? Like, genius move.
But they have to ask at the beginning. They give a talk. Has anyone done this escape room? They're all like looking at him.
Yeah,
like,
as anyone at all, anyone.
Guys like looking around. Like,
It's a weird metaphor to bring a date into. See if you can get out of this.
Oh my god, amazing! So what can an audience expect then coming away from your show? Lots of laughs, I hope.
Yeah, 100%. It's so like the conceit of the whole performance is you're the audience at a wedding and you come to see the best man do a speech.
Yeah,
So you get to see the whole speech and watch as one person kind of
unravels
in front of you. So it goes from like classic Irish awkward best man speech into something a little bit more existential. I think when we started writing, how we pitched it was like BoJack Horseman meets like old school Unbelievables. You know, their live shows.
That's brilliant.
Where there's a little bit of audience interaction, so you feel like, you know, when they used to do the bits where they'd be talking to the audience as though they're in the thing that they're, you know,
Yeah.
at the wedding, at the funeral, at the christening. So we've kind of brought that element into it. So
Brilliant. So did you spend a lot of time researching best man speeches then?
didn't have to. Went to a lot of weddings.
Really? we're just at that age now,
Yeah.
isn't it? Like, okay, so you're just pulling from your own experience. Have you been best men before?
Yeah.
Did it go well, or is this?
Yeah,
is
it
this
did.
trauma here?
In my case, it went really well. I had to, because my friend had gotten married in COVID, so I was the, what do you call it when you actually, the celebrant.
Yeah.
So that was my speech. I wrote that part of it.
Grand. No bother to you then.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll just do a play out of this.
Taken bits of that and put it into the play. I don't know if he's okay with that, but
But it's there now for life. Like, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I was best man for my brother's wedding. That went really well. I didn't.
I'm looking for trauma stories
No.
here, lads. I'm looking for things where you upset everyone and they walked out. You got, no, okay. I'm glad everything went well for you. But, so the show sounds.
Well, come see the show. You'll see where the trauma comes from.
yeah.
Okay, you can leave us on a cliff edge there. Then. That's brilliant. So we can catch Best Man in the Smock Alley Theatre October 25th to 29th. Mikey and Colman, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you
Thanks
so
Best of
much.
luck with it all.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Thank you.
And your date. Let's pick it up a bit now again, shall we? Yes, bring the energy. Okay, this is a song I stumbled across by an artist I've never heard of before, but I really like her. It's wild. It's kind of a bit ska. It's a bit punk. It's cool. It's not like anything I've heard recently coming out of Ireland. Her name is Ruby Moss. This is a song called Pretend. Have a little listen. I hope you like it as much as I do.
Pretend that I'm not crying inside. Pretend that I'm not dying inside. Don't you worry, it'll be okay. There is always another day. Do not lie to me. Things don't always work out. Don't you worry, it'll be okay. There is always pretend that I'm not crying inside. Pretend that I'm not dying inside.
Let's talk about what's happening around town, shall we? Open House Dublin is back. So, if you enjoyed Culture Night for no other reason than you got to snoop around some great places for free, you will probably love Open House Dublin. Open House Dublin runs from the 14th to the 16th of October. And, you know, in a very, well, it's probably not the right way to say this, but it's a load of really fancy gaffs will open their doors and let you go in and have a root around. Like gaffs that you wouldn't normally get to see in. You know, people who have spent, like I think it's private homes as well, where they've gotten really fancy architects in and you get to go and have a look at what the architects have done with this little space, whatever. And then there's loads of like, obviously historical buildings like Marsh's Library or the library in Trinity College or the government buildings and the National Gallery. So these are all spaces that wouldn't normally be open to the public, or that they might normally charge in or whatever. So they're opening their doors, and there's so many different buildings and spaces are going to be open, and you get to go in and have a good look and maybe get a tour off people and whatever. I think it's fascinating. I really do think it's fascinating, and it's a good way of seeing all the incredible buildings that we have in Dublin and Ireland. So anyway, so this is Open House Dublin. It's the 14th to the 16th of October. A lot of the tours are pre-booking. So you have to go to the website, which is openhousedublin.com, and pre-book in advance. I've just tried to book a slot to go up the viewing tower, not the viewing tower, what should they call it? The control tower for the airport, because I was like, that would be amazing. But it's booked out. All the good stuff is, it's not all booked out, but you know, I think I'm going to go see the Dunsink Observatory, because that seems pretty cool, and maybe Malahide Castle, have a little nose around there. So yeah, take yourself there. If you have nothing to be doing the weekend after next, have a look for Open House Dublin. Now I have a programme of events here coming up that is in a new venue, and it's a new space, and it's loads of new artists. So yeah, I'm going to give you, like, this is just blowing my mind that I knew nothing about this. There's a space called The Playground. I had never heard of it before, which is fine because, you know, I'm old and out of the loop. But it's in the Glenview Industrial Estate in Drimna, right? Now, these are alcohol-free events, but it's a series of 4 shows over 4 nights. Now, I've missed one of them, which was October 3rd, but there is October 10th, Sarah Crean, Dove Lee, Valerie Rose. October 17th, Maria Kelly, who we of course love on the show. Holly, Katie Phelan, also love on the show. And then it goes right into October 24th. It's called Eru, E-Fada I or U. So many fathers in the show this week. Series of 4 shows. And here's the thing. It's featuring Irish female and non-binary artists. Gigs for the boards. So that just sounds class. It sounds brilliant. A new space with new acts. Tickets are only a £5 and all the proceeds are going to belong to that incredible charity that do the Lord's work, I tell you. So yeah, tickets are available from Eventbrite, and that's in the Playground in an industrial estate out in Trimna, wouldn't you know? There you go. Let's keep the Irish tunes flowing, shall we? This is by Avelina, a song called Never Feel Again.
This feeling inside won't burn me alive, but my own thoughts will, won't they finish and kill? So boring and dull, return into charcoal, dust and finally when I won't have a feeling then, I won't have a feeling then. Never believed I'd feel this, never thought I'd hurt this way. You don't even say you're sorry, never wanna feel again. I'd do anything for you, anytime, night or day. You know I never wanted to push you so far away. Am I in the way of your life without me? I always thought that we were meant to be. I never thought that you would want to leave. This feeling I have is gonna destroy me. It's gonna destroy me. Never believed I'd feel this feeling. Never thought I'd hurt this way. You don't even say you're sorry. I'm so sorry. Never wanna feel again. I'd do anything for you, anything, anytime, night or day. You know I never wanted to push you so far away. Never believed I'd feel this, never thought I'd hurt this way. You don't even say you're so sorry. Never wanna feel again. I'd do anything for you, anything, anytime, night or day. You know I never wanted to push you so far away. Never believed I'd feel this, never thought I'd hurt this way. You don't even say you're so sorry. Never wanna feel again. I'd do anything for you, anything, anytime, night or day. You know I never wanted to push you so far away. You know I never wanted to push you so far away.
Now let's have some more tunes, shall we? This time from Days. Days, who you remember, was around a few years ago, and I'm delighted he is back. His bio, which says he straddles the lines between rock, punk and hip hop. And if you know him, you will definitely know that that is true. Here is his brand new single. This is called Therapy.
Kinda wish I was in Vegas. At least the lights don't ever fade there. 'Cause your memory is changing, and you don't wanna know me. I'll just pretend that I still hate you, and tell them that I'm okay when I still know you feel the same, but you don't wanna know me. No, you don't wanna know me. I'm trying to say the feeling never faded, and I just wish that you would run away with me. I know sometimes that I can get impatient, but I'm waiting. You don't wanna settle down. I said all this shit in therapy. Maybe we can talk about how you coming round and you coming back to me. Don't wanna be your friend right now. I just see your future next to me. Maybe we can mess about and you'll come around and you'll fall in love with me. I'm writing letters in my phone. We're always gonna be alone. I'll give you the chance to figure it out, figure me out. 'Cause you get complacent when I'm overthinking. I'm not gonna waste it, I'm not finished chasing. I put down the bottle to hold on your face, and I'm just asking you for one chance and I'll take it. You don't wanna settle down. I said all this shit in therapy. Maybe we can talk about how you coming round and you coming back to me. Don't wanna be your friend right now. I just see your future next to me. Maybe we can mess about and you'll come around and you'll fall in love with me.
Hi guys, it's producer Ashley here. So when we spoke to Colman last week about his play Best Man, which is on in the Smock Alley later this month, he told us about a cute little date he was going on immediately afterwards. Well, we at Spotlight always deliver, and we have since then gotten a much needed update from Colman about his date just for you. So take a listen.
Hey Ruth, hey Ashley. The date, we met up. We went for a coffee and a stroll, and like that's what we said we'd do. And then after that, I think we're strolling like along the waterfront for like, I think maybe like an hour. And I was getting kind of peckish, so I was like, look here, I'm gonna go for food. I mean, I didn't say it like that. I was just like, are you like, do you want to go for food as well? And she was like, yes. I was like, oh, okay, because like I wasn't sure how I was gonna go. I left my book in the car. I was like, in case I'll go for food on my own. You know what I mean? God, that sounds terrible. But so then we ate, and yeah, we were just getting on well. And then afterwards, she suggested that we walk up to this other kind of scenic area. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm well game, you know. I just, you know, I didn't, her suggesting it, I was like, cool, this means that like this date isn't going poorly. And ended up holding hands and having a kiss. There you go now. There you go. So yeah, it went well, and we said we'd see each other again in a few weeks. I don't think I told her what Best Man was about though. A man in his 30s, desperately single. I think I left that off just to make myself sound somewhat more appealing. But yeah, so yeah, thank you very much. Come see Best Man at Smock Alley.
I've always had a lot of problems with listening. You can try repeating, but I won't ever take it in. I'm a nightmare, but you can't blame me for trying. Left on the heating after leaving for hours, and I keep spilling food I wanna eat on the sofa. Do I belong here when my head's wandering out there? It's the same old story, different day. I still tell whenever I drink a little too much. I get the fear, I think I've said something stupid. I'm a disaster. Why do I even leave the house for? I could write a book about the things I've regretted. I've told a lot of stories that I really shouldn't, but what's the point of living if you don't mess up at all? It's the same old story, different day. I still tell myself I can change when it gets too boring. I count the ways that I convince myself I can change. 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 Remember how it used to be so normal to accept who we really were. Whatever happened to that? I can't find what makes me feel like I know what I'm doing. If only it was that easy to really believe that my goals are behind me. Why is this so hard? It shouldn't faze me, but I've been hating myself lately. It's the same old story, different day. I still tell myself I can change. 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 I can change.
Now, I played this tune. The tune I'm going to play next, I've played this last week, the week before, and I loved it. I fell absolutely in love with it, so I'm going to play it again. It's called Call the Coroner by Shawnee Birmingham.
Call the coroner. He's the man for you. I saw you fall and the wishing well. You flipped a coin, but you couldn't tell if all your dreams were good money spent. Stood in disbelief. All that could have been. The wildcats with their yellow eyes. The fear that comes alive at night. The afternoon has come and gone, and you are invisible between the thorns, and I feel it in my stomach. It's tight behind my eyes, so I'll wait for a minute and let the fear subside, and I'll go home and sleep. I'll go
Blood Donor is back with a brand new single. Here is Lonely Street.
Know now why you're being so coy. All the summertime boys used to piss you right off. Said you were a sundown girl and you're living in a world for one. A sad song, a sad scene. We waste our time with fever dreams. I have been dying to see all of the lights go out on the street. I am trying to be your friend. Memories of the good time, man, what a place to begin. You couldn't dream that night up. Giggles in the video chat, hadn't laughed like that in years. Was that made up? Was that not real? The butterfly breaks upon the wheel. I have been dying to see all of the lights go out on the street. I am trying to be your friend. I have been dying to see all of the lights go out on the street. I am trying to be your man. A sad song, a sad scene. We waste our time, yeah, with fever dreams. This is a story. This is a story. This is a story. This is a story.
Now, I know I played this next track before, but I love it. And that's what this show is about. Me playing tunes that I love. It's not. It's about bringing new Irish music to new audiences via the airwaves on our beautiful community radio station here in Dublin City FM. This artist, her name is Katie Kim, and this is just a hauntingly beautiful song. It's called Eraser. Are you looking for something to do that's quite cultural this weekend? Look no further. You've come to the right place, of course. This is the Arts, Culture and New Irish Music Show. There is an exhibition, a photographic exhibition, happening in Hen's Teeth, which I love. Love that space. It's a great cafe. It's a great event space. It's a great shop. It's called Standing Still and it's by photographer Olin Brannigan. Happens from the 6th to the 9th of October. And what he has done, which is very interesting, is brought like studio lighting to Neolithic monuments around Ireland. And what he's gotten is these like really dark, gorgeous sculptures out of like the night. They're fabulous. Anyway, I'm doing a really bad version of explaining this to you here. Just go head along to Hen's Teeth, which is down in the Tenters, like it's Dublin 8 is Black Pits, I think. Black Pits. Go down there, see gorgeous work, pick yourself up some books, some prints, some whatever else, and check that out. Hen's Teeth. My next guest, I'm very delighted to say, is Jackie Beverly. Jackie, thank you so much for joining us in the studio today.
Thanks for having me, Ruth.
You are here because a month ago you released your debut EP called Temporary State. Many congratulations on that. We've been playing it to death here on the show.
Thank you so much. Yeah, feels great to have it out.
Does it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it must be kind of like almost a sense of relief, right, when you finished a project that you can be so proud of.
It's like I get such satisfaction from completing tasks. Like if my entire life is made up of to-do lists, and I just love taking them off and getting it done.
Same. I bullet. Do you bullet?
I don't, but I really want to get a bullet journal.
It's amazing. It changed my life.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now I'm going to get one because you're not the first person to say it to me.
Oh, it's just divine. It was actually a promoter down in Galway. I believe, you know, Googie, right? Everyone knows Googie.
Yeah.
Googie got me onto bulletin, and I was like, I was always thinking, how does this man do so much? He only has 24 hours.
It's the bullet journal.
It's the bullet journal.
Okay, I'm going to get one.
This show is brought to you by bullet journaling. It's not. But I mean, releasing a debut EP is no small task. You know, an awful lot goes into it. How long were you kind of building it? How long? When did the inspiration strike?
So this collection of songs was a funny one because I know normally, well, maybe not normally. I guess every creative person has a different path and how they do things. But I guess when you're releasing an album or an EP, I think you have that in mind when you're writing the songs. You know, this is a song for the album, or this is a song for the EP, or that kind of thing. Whereas I think I maybe had 2 of the songs, possibly 3, and then I was like, oh, like it wasn't until I reflected back on them that I was like, oh, this is an EP, this is cool. And then I was like, right, I need another song for it to, like, I didn't want to release a 3-track EP. I wanted it to be like at least 4. So I think the first song that I wrote, which is one that I'm going to play live, it's like one of, if not the first song that I ever wrote on the guitar, and that was years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's been part of my live set since then. But I kind of only realised that it fits sort of thematically with the rest of the songs.
That's so lovely. It's like your first child out into the world.
Yeah, like go, be free.
Yeah. Let's talk a bit about your live set, because that's where I came across you first. I can't remember, it might have been Other Voices or something.
I think the first time I met you probably was Other Voices.
And you were stylish as hell. You were like, I think you were rocking this suit. I was like, who's that girl? And you look class. What can people expect? Because obviously you're going to play an acoustic tune here today. What can they expect from your live sets?
It's definitely changed since when we met at that I think that was 2019, that Other Voices set. I have brass now in my live section, so kind of obsessed with the trumpet at the moment. Every song I write has a trumpet line in it.
It's a good thing to be obsessed about, really, isn't it?
So
obsessed with the trumpet.
A little bit obsessed with the trumpet. I think the more kind of confident I get recording my own demos, the more I get to know Logic and kind of unwrapping different kind of instruments, software and stuff like that, the bigger my set is getting.
Of course.
So yeah, the most recent show that I played, the Headline in Whelan's, that was amazing. That was my biggest kind of setup, and we had lovely Kev Foran on trumpet, and oh my god, it was just so gorgeous. Like I kind of lost myself in the middle of it because I was watching him and I was like, oh god, I'm supposed to be playing.
I'm coming back in here too.
Yeah.
Right? But yeah, his work is amazing, and I always love seeing him added to people's lineups, and I think it shows a great sense of like a collaborative agency, or like, you know, in Ireland people are just going around and playing with each other, and the fact that you're almost writing trumpet lines for people that you know.
Oh, I was like, Kev, this is going to be great.
Play this for me, Kev.
Yeah.
You talk there about getting confident with tools, you know, like Logic, or confident like building your own demos and writing your own demos. Are you self-taught?
I would say definitely not self-taught in the fact that I've like pestered all of my friends to teach me how to do it.
That's self-taught. That's self-initiated self-taught.
Okay.
You know, you're not employing a tutor. You're
Yeah.
going out there and, you know, sourcing the information yourself, and your self-motivation as well. So there's a lot to be said for that.
Oh, well, that makes me feel better. So
Yeah.
thanks.
I mean, but like, yeah, it is. It's something to be extremely proud of, to be able to go and to be constantly learning. I can't imagine it's easy. I mean, in my profession as a photographer, I always have to be constantly learning as well, and it takes so much time, and you're just absolutely exhausted.
I don't think you can ever be finished, especially in the creative field. Like there's always new tricks. Like I'd say for photography, there's like, check out this new feature that they've just like for editing, or like, you know, there's always something new that you can learn. It's never ending. But that's cool.
And it must be the same in music as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, for me, I'm very, very beginner when it comes to like demoing. I use the most basic version of Logic, but as I said, it's kind of like the more you use it, the more you figure out, and there's like little things that you can unlock, and you're like, oh, this is a cool trumpet sound that I've not used before. I'll just add it to the 16 other trumpets that I have on this song.
Again with the trumpets, Jackie. So the first song you're going to play for us today in studio, which we are very grateful for, Is it sans trumpet then? Are we going to hear it without a trumpet?
I could do the mouth trumpet. No, I'm definitely not going to do the mouth trumpet.
I wish we practiced this in advance. I could have done mouth trumpet. So what's the first song you're going to play for us now?
So this is a song I mentioned earlier, and it's called Changeling, and it's one of the first songs I ever wrote, and it is about like Irish folklore and the fairy other land. Yeah.
So hot right now though, the fairies. I'm getting really into the fairy world. And I'm
obsessed.
I didn't really, this is to my shame as an Irish person, didn't really know an awful lot about fairies until recently. Now I've gone really like deep into it.
Yeah.
And I follow an account on Twitter called a ring fort or every hour, where it posts like...
I think I know that Twitter account.
It's a bot account. And I just get all these like ring forts and fairy forts.
Gas.
Yeah, so I'm going to be listening to this song with intent now. So Changeling, take it away in your own time, Jackie.
Cool.
I can still remember the leaves as they fell up that garden path that led us all astray. We hid amongst the roses, told secrets in the shade. One by one we left our mothers, one by one we went away. Took us by the hand and asked us all to climb up that mountain where the river meets the snow. They took off all our clothes. Well, I remember it was cold as we plunged into the water, as they cleansed us of our souls. And oh, we wait for light to fade, and oh, we pray for him, for her, for they. Darling, please forgive me for losing what we've learned. The land doesn't seem to know my name. The streets that we roam, well, they do not feel like home. Can you tell them that I'm frightened? Can you tell them then we'll go? And oh, we wait for light to fade, and oh, we pray for him, for her, for they. Do you still remember the leaves as they fell up that garden path that led us all astray? We hid amongst the roses, told secrets in the shades. One by one we left our mothers, one by one we went away.
Wow. That was beautiful.
Thanks.
That was quite haunting. I did the thing where what you did on your live performance where I zoned out and I was like, this is mesmerising. And I was thinking, I don't have a follow-up question.
Thank you.
A terrible interviewer sitting here going, oh crap, it's back to me. No, that was absolutely stunning. Tell me, right, I know as is the case with so many musicians here in Ireland, we've been through a pandemic, things are tough, everything is, the cost of living crisis and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of people have to work. And you also have a day job as well, right?
I do. I have a day job.
It kind of blows my mind that you can be such a creative person who is bringing out a body of work as well-rounded as an artistic as just as substantial as you do, and then also have a job. Like,
oh, well, thank you.
how do you make it work? Do you set aside time for yourself to write and to record, or are you like regimental with your time?
Yeah, so I am a secondary school teacher by day, which I'm kind of lucky because that particular job lends itself quite well to like creative jobs, because you've got the whole summer, guaranteed every weekend, some holidays during the year as well. So I can use those times really well. The only thing is it doesn't really coincide, like summer is festival season. So, you'd kind of hope that you'd have all your material ready to go to play
Before.
those festivals. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which would mean that I'd need to write throughout the year. So yeah, I do put away time. It's just teaching kids or teenagers, it's as any job is, it's energy draining. Like,
it's taxing.
Yeah.
I mean, they're polite things to say about that. I don't think I could be in a room full of 30 teenagers every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're a strong woman for doing it. And then to be writing beautiful songs like that. Mine would all be like really angsty Slipknot versions. Go, ah, children, ah.
Yeah, well, maybe I write about fairylands because that's when I'm like, take me away.
It's your little escape from the classroom going, see you kids. Do the kids know you're a musician?
I think they do. I think because like my social media obviously isn't on private, it has to be on public for me to be able. And I don't know about you, when you were in school, like I was kind of obsessed with the fact that my teachers had other lives outside of school. Like
I didn't think they did.
Yeah.
When you see them in the supermarket, you're like, oh my god,
they're human. They eat food too. But no, I had a really, really, really lovely group who've just left the school, I think, 2 years ago now, and they came in one day super sheepishly, and I was like, what's wrong here? I was like, what kind of fresh hell is this? And I didn't know what was going to happen. I was really on edge for the whole class. I was like trying to get them out the door as quick as possible, and then they just kind of like waved me at the door, like, bye Beverly. I was like, oh, they know.
Rumbles.
Yeah, but it's cool because they were a lovely group, and I think a lot of the kids that I teach are actually really lovely, and they're really interested, and it's nice that they know that I'm a person outside. It makes the whole thing kind of more relatable, I suppose.
And, it's inspirational as well for them to see that you can be a musician and that you can make records and and you can do more than one thing.
Yeah, and we have kids as well in the school who are like super musically talented. So, I mean...
You're like, collaborate with me.
Like today I had music club and I had a first year playing the drums, and I was like, I could write a really cool song to that. I was like, don't do that.
No, I'm pretty sure that's like...
There's boundaries there.
That's intellectual property theft.
Yes, 100%.
Getting them to sign like a clause at the age of 15
Yeah.
so you can steal their riffs. I like your style, Jackie Beverly. Okay, one more personal thing and then I'll let you play your next song. You just bought a camper van.
I just bought a camper van.
Welcome
and I'm so excited.
to the club.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's so for anyone who's listening, I bought a camper van back in February this year and it has changed my life. Absolutely, incredibly changed my life. I love it. Every day I'm not in my van, I am saying, why am I not in my van?
Yeah.
When did you get her?
So literally on Thursday last week, my girlfriend texted me and she was like, because we've been looking for a while.
Yeah.
We've been looking for, I think we got in touch with you a couple of months ago. We're like, please help us.
And I gave you 15 long voice notes kind of going, well, this is what you need to do.
Oh, it was the best. It was exactly what we needed. But yeah, so Sinead texted me on Thursday. She was like, this has just gone up because you need to be quick. They go so fast.
It's worse than the housing crisis.
Oh my God, camper
that's
vans.
terrible because we don't. But not to put a downer on this most glorious thing that you've just bought, a lot of people, our generation, are buying them as places to live. Legitimate places to live.
Like the first thought that came into my head when we had it was like, okay, if anything goes wrong, at least we have a roof overhead, which is so wrong on so many levels that you'd have to like live in a van. But
It's terrifying. But you know, I've seen pictures of your new baby and she's a
I'd
gorgeous
happily
van.
live in that van.
You
Yeah.
would, like, you would. So what are the plans? Are you going out adventuring?
Yeah, definitely. We're going to try and go on like as many trips as we can before winter, and even throughout winter. Like, it's going to be warm
Oh, you
enough.
do it throughout winter.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hot water bottle in your grand.
Yeah.
And would you bring the guitar?
Oh, definitely going to bring the guitar. Yeah.
Because I record some of these radio shows from my van because I can, because we're allowed to work remotely here in beautiful Dublin City FM. So last week I recorded from Clifton, from this cliff top seaside in Clifton, and it was gorgeous. So maybe.
Well, if we do another one, I'll meet you out west.
That's what I was just going to say.
Yeah.
Bring
we
the
can sing
guitar.
fairy songs in the west of Ireland.
Oh, this writes itself. I expect you to come back on my show out in the wilds of the west.
I'm there.
Singing some songs.
Me and Dorothy the van and Sinead and my dog Casper were there.
Dorothy, Casper and Sinead. I cannot wait to meet them all and introduce you to my Gloria Estevan.
What a name.
I know. Listen, play us out with one more tune, if you will. What are you going to play for us next?
So this next song is the title track off the EP and it's called Temporary State.
Brilliant. And just one thing before you go. If people want to hear more from you, where should they find you?
All over social media. I'm Jackie Beverly, Jackie Beverly Music, all the usual places I'm there.
And I'm sure you got a website with a store section where we can buy your EP.
I've got a glorious Bandcamp page where there are CDs because we're retro like that.
I love it.
And lots of cool merch up there as well, like some fresh organic teas that you can buy. So yeah, it's all
You're
up there.
saying all the right things here, Jackie Beverly. Okay, play us out with Temporary State from your new EP. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Caught the light outside your door again, walked you home again. I can't stay late again. Tried to talk, but no one understands. Screamed it everywhere. Heavy hearts, heavy air. And I need help to navigate. I'm in a temporary state. False pretenses suddenly are wearing thin, like my second skin has got too small for me to be in. Hard for me to sometimes fully comprehend, 'cause I get overwhelmed, then it's go again. And I need help to navigate this very temporary state. Late night, scared of coming down. I found winter hard this time around. Doing lines to try to pass the time. My thoughts move slowly, only when I'm high. Ooh. Ooh, ooh,
That is about all we have time for. These shows just go so fast. I want to thank all of my guests for coming on the show this week, and I want to thank you guys for listening. I mean, come on, you guys are amazing. If you liked what you heard and you want to send me some feedback, Jesus, even if you didn't like what you hear, send me some feedback. You can text in the show or you can DM me. My handle on all social media accounts is Ruthless Imagery, or you can email us. You can email myself or producer Ashley here. It is spotlight@dublincityfm.ie. You will get straight through to us, and we do read all the emails. Likewise, if you want to send something to us, send us some new music, you want to send us details of an event happening in your community, you've got some news for us, anything that's arts and culture related, we are here to listen, to hear you, and to platform anything that you've got going on. This is your show as much as it is mine. It's been an absolute pleasure sharing these couple of hours with you this week. We will be back next week with some more new Irish music and your guide to everything that's going on around. Thank you so much. I will talk to you then. Bye.